to some chefs as the chicken of the sea. Salmon is a menu staple for many restaurants, and now even farmed salmon, long dismissed as less desirable than wild, is gaining traction among the salmon snobs. Here with more is WSJ reporter Sarah Nassauer. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
The perception of farmed salmon has been not as environmentally sustainable, not as tasty, and perhaps even filled with chemicals. Is that perception changing?
Yeah, it is. And we eat a whole lot of farmed salmon. It's the majority of salmon that we eat now in the U.S. So farmed salmon has won over lots of people, but there's been holdouts, people with environmental concerns, high-end chefs that really prefer the taste of wild. And now we see some movement into those places.
Right now, so has the actual process of the farming changed, or has only the perception changed?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
In some cases, yes, the farming has changed, and even some of the most critical watchdogs of the farmed fish industry say yes, there's improvements. The fish farming is a relatively young industry, less than 50 years old, so there's still technology that's building up, but there's also a lot of savvy marketing going on.
Right, so it's a little bit of both. So tell us the main differences between farmed salmon and wild, aside from the price, because we know that wild is wildly more expensive than farmed salmon.
Yeah, in the high-end restaurant world, the wild salmon they want is definitely more expensive. The difference, you can sort of see the difference sometimes. Often farmed salmon is a little fattier. Mm-hmm. It has a more neutral taste often, and some Americans like that, prefer that, where in a high-end restaurant setting, often they want that kind of complex taste of the wild salmon.
The color is even different.
And the color can be a little bit more intense. And it's obviously caught or raised in a very different way.
Right, but the taste is relatively the same, you think?
I think it's pretty different, and it varies. And now some of these sort of premium farmed salmon makers are really working on the taste for that reason.
It's so interesting. Now, seafood consumption in this country is down a little bit, but within that, salmon consumption is on the rise?
Salmon consumption is rising, and globally what we see happening is farmed is likely going to surpass wild as the main source of the seafood that we eat this year.
I have to be honest, I love salmon. Yesterday I had salmon for lunch and for dinner, so your article resonates with me. So even grocers like Whole Foods have now carrying a lot of farmed salmon.
They have a very strict sort of rules and regulations for their farmed fish, and they are slowly being able to approve more and more suppliers as well.
All right, Sarah Nassauer, thank you so much. I think I'll have salmon again for dinner tonight. Thank you so much for that.